Yo, guys. First of all, I would like to start off by saying Happy New Year to everyone. Obviously, I hope everyone has a great 2026 and I hope Newcastle has a better one. Obviously, 2025 was a year we got a trophy, the Carabao Cup. We got to be able to celebrate for the first time in like 70 years of actually winning a trophy. So, come on. Obviously, that's going to go down now in the history books. Obviously, unbelievable run to the Carabao Cup final. It would be lovely to see if we can actually somehow get a trophy in back-to-back years, which would be crazy, going on a massive trophy drought and then win them so close. Obviously, it will show the ambition of the PIF and the owners. And obviously, credit to Eddie Howe, unbelievable manager in the team. Right, let's quickly get into this. Some comments. Eddie Howe has had a press conference this morning regarding some things, but here, kind of gonna have a quick talk about this. I'll zoom in a bit so it's a bit easier for you guys to see. Right, so basically, players out of contract at the end of the season. Obviously, we need to take that into account. Shaw, Trippier, Lascelles, Kraft, Thompson, and Gillespie, who is been at this club for bloody ages and never starts any games. Obviously, on top of that, I'm pretty sure there's still a couple other players that are getting around the end of their contracts as well, like Nip Hope and stuff. So obviously that needs to be taken into account. Eddie Howe, this was basically something that he mentioned. Obviously, he was asked about marquee signings. He just doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't. It's a very, very political wording he's used there, because obviously he doesn't want to define marquee signing, because then that's what it means for the rest of his career, and whatever signings we do, people will say, well, is this a marquee signing? Is that not? So, yeah, that's why he said that. He's also mentioned here, whatever signings we do now will affect what we can do in the summer, which is, yep, that's obviously makes sense. But, yeah, like I said, you've got to take into account we're going to lose players to contracts. We're going to be selling players. So that'll still recoup some money to be able to sell. And obviously, we had the Isak sale. Obviously, he says here about the PSR. Yeah, obviously, we need to... PSR is an issue because we don't have, like, say, the new stadium and stuff, which we can then use to make money, like what Spurs does and everything. And we're still growing. Obviously, he says about basically says about the injuries will also play a big part in what we do in the in this window. So yeah, that's kind of everything on that. He was in an interview this morning. This is the Chronicle. I'll just have a quick run through there. Basically, there's a boost on the Trippier Livramento situation, which is good for the right back situation. Lewis Hall looks fine. Obviously, this is where he said about the marquee signing and basically what I just spoke about before. It was just broken down a bit easier to read. Basically, it said that January is a season-defining month, which I would agree with the fixtures we have. We play 9 games this month. Do you know what? I'll actually get up our fixture list very quickly, just to kind of go through it. Right. This is our fixtures of this month. We have 9 games. Obviously, we've done the Burnley game. I would think all these games on this list is potentially winnable, because we look how many home games we have. It's a majority all home games. So it's a massive month, this. Obviously, some of them are in competitions, but the Premier League games should all be winnable, because now they're all at home apart from the Wolves game, which should be a winnable game. So obviously we have Palace at home, which is a big game. We should hopefully win that. That's on Sunday. Leeds again winnable at home. Obviously these two, FA Cup and EFL Cup, we want to go strong in these, especially the Man City game. This is going to be a massive game for us, because if we can potentially get some, imagine, say if we win 3-1, 3-0, 2-1, 2-0, we can then go away to Man City and be a bit more resolute with our defending. Big game for that, so we're going to need basically some incomings for that, some signings. Obviously, it's looking like they're likely going to be getting Semenyo. It's basically agreed in principle. Newcastle to Bournemouth, again, we should be potentially winning that game. Obviously, we had a very, very stinky game earlier on in the year, away at theirs. Again, we should be winning that Wolves game. PSV, we should be winning. And then Villa, that'll be a cage game, but depends on what gets done in the January transfer market. I do think Villa's going to slightly fall off from how they've been doing, though. Like the 11-game unbeaten run that just got broken by the Arsenal game was crazy, and I didn't think they were going to be able to sustain it. Right, quickly talk about just a tweet here. This is just what someone's basically just said about what I agree with and what I don't. Sula, about 20 mil. That's likely to be going to Eintracht Frankfurt. God, that's a tongue twister. It was looking like we were going to sell him in the summer for about 30 million, but I think it's more likely going to be a loan with an option or an obligation to buy of about 20 million pounds. And more than likely what they do, they kind of just cover his salary for the rest of the season, so we don't have to worry about that. And then they just pay the fee at the end of the year. Depends on obviously how it's set up. But if we do this, I'm hoping to the love of God we put an option to buy or like buyback clause in his contract, because we need to start doing that with some of these players that we're letting out that are a bit younger, that have potential. Because if that happens, then we could just buy him back in a couple of years if he kicks on. Joe Willock, this I don't believe is going to be that cheap if he does sell, because we're looking to basically recoup the money that we bought him for, which is around 21 million, I think. So there's been teams like Crystal Palace, Leeds that have all been looking at him, and then some teams in Australia. It's an interesting one. I think he is more likely to go to somewhere like Leeds or Crystal Palace, especially Leeds. Obviously, they bought Sean Longstaff off us, so they think they can get a good track record with that. Hopefully, they do. He's 26, so he's still got many years. And say like another one here, Joe Linton has been linked with Saudi Arabia, a few teams in Saudi Arabia for about 40 million. Again, I don't think I'd be mad if he went. He's getting a bit older, and yeah, I think it's fine to sell stuff like that. Semenyo, he is not coming, so don't worry about that. Ruben Neves, potentially, that is a potential option, but we'll kind of go through them all ourselves. So this is sort of the rough transfer list. So what I'm going to do, pop this up here. What I think is important that we kind of need: a right winger, a potential. We need a left back, a right back, attacking midfielder, and potentially a covering centre back. I would say they're the kind of main ones. These two definitely needed. Or you could get one player that could do both, that would be fine. That would cover them both. But potentially, more than likely, we need two. So I'll put them to the side for the moment of what I think should be. So I would be very happy if we go for Oscar Bob as our number one right winger, because he's not expensive. As you can see here, we've been linked with him. Rough price about 20 million, which is, to be honest, I think there's going to be a couple of clubs that are going to be looking to come in for Oscar Bob. He is incredibly talented. Obviously, he suffered a leg break just in the pre-season of last year. Technically now 2 years ago, because we just got 2026. The last season, in pre-season of last season, that's when he suffered a leg break, and then he was basically not kind of being himself since. Which I've broken my leg. I know what it's like, because I mean, when I did it, I was actually playing quite a lot of football, and I tried to play football afterwards, and you don't realize how much your muscles and nerves and everything deteriorate. It's very hard. It takes time to build everything back up. Confidence, obviously. I remember I went into a tackle once, and I genuinely felt all the bones of my leg move over because the muscles and everything weren't there. And yeah, it does something on your mental. However, I think he is an unbelievable talent, and if we can get someone like this for 20 million, I think that would be an incredible bit of business. I know another team like Spurs has definitely been looking at him, but hopefully if we can somehow manage to secure the signing, especially with the likes of them getting Semenyo in, I think he's 100% going to be going out. Hopefully we can manage to get him and not another team. So he is probably my number one target. Buddy, I'm getting flipping pop-ups here. He's probably my number one target for the likes of right wing. I'll make it a bit bigger so everyone can see as well. Left back. So we've been linked with Wesley here, which he is a right back actually. Sorry, not left back. However, I think he has played both. I'm pretty sure both wings, but I don't think we're going to be going for him. You've got Roma looking. They're wanting about 50 million euros. I don't think we're going to be paying that much. If I'm going to be honest, he looks good. He's young. I think that is completely out of our price range we're looking at the moment. Unless, I mean, of course, for example, we get Oscar Bob. That's 20 million. If we sell, I'll do a quick notepad here of rumor departures. What can we say here? I do not want Tonali going. So potentially, if we sell a Sula, 20 mil. Joe Linton, 40 mil. Joe Willock. If we can get 20 mil, I'll be happy with that. Kraft, I mean, if he does go, I don't see him going, to be honest, but if he does, it would probably be like a 5 to 10 mil deal. It wouldn't be that much. But say, just those, for example. Obviously, I do think we could potentially sell some other players, but I feel like that's the most likely. That in itself is what, 85 million. So if we could do that, we'll Oscar Bob there for 20 million. That'd be a great deal. Souza, this is a left back from Santos. Potentially, he's very young. Is the only issue. It could be interesting. This, I feel like that's a potential option. I like this. How we're going for these a bit cheaper left back and right back, because someone like this is not going to be likely to be our starting left back. Obviously, Lewis Hall will be. He's got the potential to learn quite a lot with Lewis Hall. So a deal like this, I think would be amazing. I'd be very happy with that. Like I said, it'll only be probably about 15 million. So let's just say here. So we've got Souza left back. I'll put 15 million on that. We'll put 25 million there because I think he'll probably would go for a little bit above that, because I think a few teams will want him. Right back, I'm unsure. Attacking midfielder, I would like to say this would probably be Bacola. I don't know how much he's going to go for though. Like I said, they value him between 15 and 20 million because his contract is running down at the end of the season, as far as I'm aware. I know his contract's until 2027, so it's next season, sorry. But he's not, obviously, if he doesn't sign around now, they're probably going to want to sell him. If we do manage to get him and get him for like 20 million, I would think that would be a good bit of business as well. These aren't massive amounts of money. That's 60 million between 3 positions already, and that's massive strength and depth with potential starters in there. Oscar Bob would be pushing Elanga to be the starting winger. Of course, Murphy is probably going to be gone at the end of the season. I think that's when his contract runs out. Let's see if I can actually get up the contracts here. Right, so this is kind of a rundown. A rundown on contracts. So I'm zoom in a little bit to make it easier to understand. Where are we? Here, expiration. So what we're going to do, we'll leave it this way. Actually, we'll do years remaining 2. Oh no, that only does 2. Whoops. Let's just take that off then. We'll do it this way. Right, so obviously that's not right. Voltemada. Okay, some of what? That is Voltemada's definitely does not expire next year. I'm pretty sure it's 2030 when his expires. Ramsdale, we've only got him to the end of this summer on obviously on a loan. We probably won't be keeping him. Ramsey, again, yeah, he will be. We signed him. I just think some of these contracts have not been like confirmed. Voldemort has, but that he's definitely not on until then. I don't know why it says that. Right, so yeah, Trippier. We'll run through it. Goalkeeper, obviously Trippier. Elanga definitely won't be as well, but again, we need to strengthen that right wing. Shaw, yes, he's finishing the end of this season. Nick Pope, the same. So again, that's 2 goalkeeping positions we're probably going to need to look at. I don't think we're going to go for a goalkeeper in the January. Emil Kraft, again, someone. Lascelles is. So there's a lot of defenders, to be honest, in this sort of position. So yeah, I think we need to strengthen a bit completely in those sort of areas, especially defense. So, like I said, so these 3 are probably my top 3 in those positions at the moment. Obviously, we have other potentials for the attacking mid. Maybe not necessarily, because the thing is, Conor Gallagher is not an attacking midfielder, but he would be good for midfield depth. So again, I'm not really going to necessarily go into that because I don't think that's going to be our be all end all. Keith Schmidt, I would love to get this man. Don't think we're going to, but again, he's going to be one of those quote unquote marquee signings that Eddie Howe doesn't want to talk about. Like I said, he's going to be probably around 50 to 60 million as a centre mid. Again, I'm not sure we're going to break the bank for him, but it's a good option there. And then yes, Ruben Neves is sort of a DM that, again, if we had him, which I would be perfectly happy getting him, to be honest. But like I said, what it would do, it would just free up. It would free up the likes of Bruno to go a bit further up the pitch. Obviously, Lewis Miley could potentially be used a bit more as well, and be further up as well. I'm more than happy with that. Scott McTominay, again, is another one that could potentially be sort of uses that sort of attacking midfielder. But my only issue is he's going to be very expensive, and I don't see us breaking the bank for someone at his age. Yes, he is good. He didn't work out at Man United. Personally, if I think we're going to break the bank for a sort of midfielding position, I would prefer you do it on Keith Schmidt. He's incredibly talented, and he's got a great potential future going ahead. This is a very interesting one. Trent Alexander-Arnold. If we could get him on loan, I would absolutely love that. I would love that signing with an option to buy at the end of the season. But again, it would be the right back would be Tino Livramento. Trippier is going to be going at the end of this year, end of the summer. Also, we could potentially sell him in Trippier in the January transfer window. That is another potential someone that we could sell to free up some funds. But again, I think that's someone that we would likely be going for. That, like I said, I would like that to be a deal if we get that on loan. Great depth, and obviously he hasn't worked out at all over there. We've got Oosterwolde for Fibonacci. I am absolutely going to be butchering that name. That's another left back. But like I said, me personally, I would prefer to get someone like the likes of Sousa, who is going to be a lot cheaper. Because like I said, I don't want to be breaking the bank again around 20 million euros is what you're saying, Naz. If we can get him around that price, I'll be happy with that. 30 million, no, that's too much. But 20 million euros, I'd be happy with. So yeah, just some players to kind of look at. But yeah, we're gonna be linked with a lot of players going this window, because like I said, the right back I think is going to be a bit of a question mark. Could it be Trent on loan? I feel like that potentially is an option. I think that's a potential option, and then a centre back. I'm not sure actually for centre back. I don't think they're going to massively push someone, because I think we're going to be getting some players back for centre back role. So I would put centre back as probably my least required position at the moment. We definitely need to strengthen, and we will in summer, but I think we can deal with that until summer. So if we look at this and say 4 kind of needed, I think if we can get Oscar Bob on the right wing, I think that'd be massive. And then having a defender. Again, left. I think all four positions here are very much needed. Attacking midfielder, I think, would make a massive difference in our team. But again, I think these three here are my we need them urgent. This is what we need in January. That is what I would like to get as well on top in January. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let me know, obviously, what everyone's thoughts are. Elliot Anderson, please come back to me. I will be saying this for bloody years. My God, there's no way he's valued at flipping 120 million. God, if that is the case, we're never getting him back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting of what it's going to be like. Obviously, I'll keep doing some updates when we get linked to some more players, if any players actually come in. Again, I would be more than happy if we had the likes of Scott McTominay, amazing player. But again, I think he'd be too much. Just to kind of recap some of the players, because like I said, based off what Eddie Howe has said, I don't know if it's on this one. Oh yeah, he also said here about Alanga and Botman are getting close to coming back. But I think it's important to realise we don't have the ability to just spend 150 million. Obviously, we're going to need to sell some players. We do have the ability to do that potentially if we sell, like I said, Trippier, Joe Willock, Joe Linton. They're potential options. And then obviously, if we sell flipping Big Willisula up front, then we could be able to potentially get some funds to then spend. Departure rumours were being very heavily linked with Juventus for Sandro Tonali. I don't think that's going to happen because that would be an insanely high transfer value. I don't see that happening anytime soon. In the summer, it would be more likely in the summer. But again, that would be a break the bank type of transfer, and then we could then spend the money. So we'll see what we could then do with that. But yeah, so Livramento's been linked because he's a great player. He gets linked all the time. Just so you'll know, some players with us just get linked to different people, different teams. The Joe Willock rumor there to Crystal Palace, that could be an option for them. So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. You got Sousa here. He's heavily linked with multiple different clubs right now. This is all coming out very recently. So apparently AC and Chelsea are looking to make an offer to him. And AC Milan looking the most likely for him to sign. So there we go. So if that happens, we're not going to be getting him. Then we might have to spend a bit more on someone. Oh, God. So many people we're linked with. So yeah, so if we don't get Sousa, it might end up having to be flipping Osterwalde, which I flipping Voltemade and Osterwalde. I'm not going to be able to understand how to say this guy's name. We'll just call him Jaden. Yeah. Either way, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. We'll see how the window goes, and obviously I'll make some more videos when we get linked to some more players. But I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and peace.